welcome to Monday's edition of Loose Mandem. It is so great for you lot to join us on today's show, so thank you. Right, coming up in the next 40 minutes, we will be discussing the latest news that has hit the headlines, David Lammy's conversation with the caller, and towards the end of the show, we will be playing a game of Loose Mandem does yes or no. So make sure you got your snacks at the ready because that's today's Loose Mandem. Now, COVID passports have created another divide within COVID news due to the relevancy of certificates. The passport is an app-based biometric certificate that would allow people entry to crowded places, for example, sports venues, concerts, cinemas, etc. Those opposed to the idea of brought up the lack of freedom that comes along with this certificate. So the question is, can we live in a world where COVID passports determine our right to go in crowded places? Jacky, what do you think about that?
I think it's a bit of a, like I said, it's controversial, and that's why the Prime Minister has been denying it, I believe. He's been denying it, that it will happen, but I feel like whenever someone denies it, it genuinely might happen.
Yeah.
Like with the past lockdown, he said it wasn't going to happen, but it ended up happening anyway. So it's a bit, 50-50 with this sort of stuff. But personally speaking, I think the whole issue with COVID passports, using it at a regional basis, it's more or less, I guess, peace of mind. Because since obviously the virus, you can't see it. It's like you don't know who has it, and obviously there's been cases of people being asymptomatic, meaning that they don't really, if they do have it, they don't really know that they have it. So there's that difficulty, and obviously if you're going into a crowded place, you're going to be, in very close proximity with other people. So I feel like with the COVID passports, it's like I said, I feel like it's for the short term, and when I mean short term, I mean like 1 or 2 years during this pandemic. I think it might work a little bit, but like I said, people won't be too happy about it, because I spoke to some people, and when they thought about the vaccination, they didn't really want to take it, but they had to take it because they wanted to go on holiday. You know what I mean? So obviously, but like he said that it's not right for people to, getting forced to use those passports to go into like pubs or anything. It's a violation of their rights, essentially.
So would you, if you want to go to a concert, would you feel comfortable in showing your COVID passport? Well, you've taken the vaccine, haven't you? So
yeah. Well, personally, I'm not too bothered. I don't even go to concerts to begin with, But personally, I'm not too bothered. But like, if it's like a concert that I really want to see, or like somewhere, like a large venue, then yeah, I'll do it. I don't mind, honestly. I do whatever works, to be fair. But like with most people, the majority, they're all pretty chill. So just do whatever works, really. At the end of the day.
Right.
Yeah, because you want to create a rule that'll help everyone, but it's really difficult to accommodate literally everyone. So I think that's probably the challenge right now, to try to find a rule that would fit everyone, if you know what I mean. And yeah.
Well, I mean, like you said though before, they're thinking of making it mandatory because they're having like a trial run of it, like probably towards the end of this month, and then they're probably thinking of introducing it more in June-ish time, like 21st of June, I think. And the thing is, with people, once you make something mandatory or compulsory, people become naturally rebellious, and people are naturally rebellious, and they'll say no. Yeah.
Well, I think it's just depending on the culture, isn't it? Some countries are natural. Some people, depending on where you live, they're more natural. They don't really care. They just follow the rules because they trust the government. But like you say, in England, I think there's that massive lack of trust now because there's many issues that's been arisen from.
Yeah, since the handling of COVID from last year, it's been like whatever the government says, it's like, well, why are you contradicting what you last said and stuff like that. I mean,
mixed messages.
Mixed messages because in face value, it's of course it's a bit weird because you have to like show these, like, as a COVID passport, you have to have probably like a QR code or
they're doing it now on, if you want to go abroad, they're doing it basically.
Yeah.
EU's doing it, I'm pretty sure.
That I can see, because it's like, well, you're going to abroad and obviously it's going to be different in another country. The regulations are going to be different. It's going to be you have to obviously make sure you have the vaccine to make sure you're all right to go. But in terms of like cinemas and restaurants and etc., it's a bit odd because we've been probably going there for now. Well, not cinemas, but more like probably pubs or restaurants and these things like that for the past couple of months, but you know, and many people have been going, but they haven't really done that specifically, like that QR code thing. Again, like there have been people who's like, oh yeah, you know, take a test, etc., which is fine, but in terms of this, it's a bit more. I don't know. It's
more policing.
Yeah, I mean, I can see how people are saying it's a lack of freedom because it's now, you know, all of these things. It's
restricting their choices.
Yeah,
essentially.
and you don't get to go and do what you want to do. So if you don't have like the COVID passport, you can't go to the cinema if you haven't been to the cinema in ages, or etc. So I mean, and then to maybe anti-vaxxers, it's like, well, so you have to take the vaccine to get a COVID passport, then to go to the cinema where I want to go, and it's like, well, I'm not doing that because clearly it's all the government and in their scheme and stuff. So it's like, well, it's you're shooting yourself in the foot. But I don't know. It's a bit of a
Harry, what's your take on it? Because these guys have made a valid point.
Yeah, definitely they made loads of valid points. But overall, I just think it's a stupid idea. I agree. If we're going to different countries, yes, you need to have a passport for it. You literally need a passport anyway, don't you? But a COVID passport, yes, in another country like Spain, somewhere, anywhere, really. But over here, though, it's just making it more complicated. Like, look at back in September, that's when the rates were lowest of COVID ever. It was false information that were given to us again. I just disagree with what the government's done with all of it. It's just, like what you said, Solly, yes, everything comes to it, and it's just, what the government's done, why he keeps changing his mind. Like saying 50-50 and that. He said he wasn't going to do passports at first, didn't he? But now he's put it up. Like, what are you doing, Boris? Why are you doing this?
Yeah.
I really don't understand this man. He shouldn't be. I don't think he should be in charge of it, to be honest. I know he's Prime Minister, but I don't think he should be. He's not the right person for it.
But I feel like it's really difficult because obviously we're just looking at it as an outsider. But when you're working in those sort of office, obviously this is just speaking from a, you know, what's that word called again? When you're objectively, there we go. When you're looking at it objectively, I don't want to undermine them or anything, but at the end of the day, doing that job, it will be really difficult. So I'll give him a credit where credit is due. But like I said, it's obviously I'm not like an expert, so I feel like it's still a bit.
Well, to be honest,
skeptical.
even if you're talking about Parliament and the whole like procedures to go through with this, I mean, I would say conservatives are like, well, yeah, let's try it out, let's get to it. But Labour is like, what's going on? This seems
what I'm going to read now, some MPs have actually disagreed from that because obviously, so in relation to this question, no, you know, can we live in a world where COVID passports depend? No, I don't think so. And like Solomon said, you've got to have people who love the idea and you've got to have people who don't like the idea. And if you guys don't know what COVID passport actually is, it's a record of whether people have been vaccinated, recently tested negative or naturally immunity, or have natural immunity after being ill with COVID. So that's a background information if you don't know what the COVID passport is. But this is a source from BBC. Proposals for vaccine passports have been criticised as dangerous, discriminatory, and counterproductive by dozens of MPs. So I'm thinking, like you said, maybe some of the Conservatives don't agree with that because I think I've seen on telly that a Conservative MP disagree with the whole COVID passport situation.
Quite a lot of, I mean, a few Conservatives disagree.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of Labour disagree. I think Labour in general disagree because it does seem very
counterintuitive.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you are typically having to create this whole passport just to go to a leisure place. So you can't even go to the cinema without having to. You have to. Right. So what film are you gonna see? Oh, yeah. Okay. Batman. Okay. Right. Okay. Show me a COVID passport. And it's like, it's a bit odd. It's like you're restricting people from doing what they want to do and doing what they love. Hence the reason why I do understand people who feel against, the COVID passport. So yeah, not everybody's gonna love it. Not everybody's gonna disagree with it. But at the end of the day, it might be a case where it depends on the trial run of it. Because they're doing it on a large scale, I think. But
yeah, but personally, I feel like with this sort of stuff, I think they're trying to compromise with everyone. So like, at the end of the day, they just want people to be safe, to be fair. And obviously, just because infection rate is high doesn't mean death rate is high. There's two different things.
Yeah.
But obviously, with people, as we've seen from the Brexit case, they don't necessarily research too much into it, such as your average Joe. So, like, I feel like doing this sort of stuff is probably the most easiest solution.
Probably. I mean, I would say
the most practical, easiest one to keep everyone safe for the time being, and it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to last like a long time. It can just be like a year until the vast majority of people, from like teenagers to basically everyone that needs to be vaccinated has vaccinated, and then only then where things become a little bit more normal, as in like everyone, as in like the hospital isn't always at max capacity. I feel like it should work out a little bit better for everyone involved.
I agree with
Last
that.
point.
I agree with that. I mean, at the end of the day, like I say, I mean, they couldn't. I'll say, I mean, because I think mostly it's more if you're taking the vaccine, then you can do that. But I think they should probably open it up and not limit it. Probably like if you've had your test, and if it's negative, then you can go in. I would say I'd be open to that because then it's a bit more fair. But I think right now it's a vaccine. So right now I would say, COVID passports. We'll see how it is.
Let's just see how it is.
We'll see how it is. Right. Moving on to distressing news now. Police have confirmed a body found in a pond in Essex has been confirmed as 19-year-old Oxford Brooks Richard Okoroge who had sickle cell, who disappeared from his home in Ladbroke Grove on the 22nd of March. There have been thousands of people being taken or disappearing on the streets, which prompts the question: do you think there should be even more awareness for missing persons? Harry, what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's unfortunate to see such a young lad disappearing, as a Richard. But with him being at university, it's been really quite. I think at university, as I've heard recently, it's not. The students that go to uni, they just start the best of times. I don't think. Well, recently anyway with COVID, what's happened to them? What's hitting them hard is just like staying indoors all the time, not being able to go out, see the families and that. It's hitting them hard, and I don't think the government understand that.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
Because you're right, because sometimes they don't, like if you go from like lower to higher class, they don't, they went to private schools and where everything perfect, and then obviously we who go to a normal based university. So I do get that what you're saying. Jacky, what do you think? Should there be more awareness for missing persons?
I think so, but you gotta understand where this is coming from as well. Like, it's kind of difficult, really. Missing person. Yeah, I think there should be more awareness, but who will be responsible for this sort of awareness? You know what I mean? Like, the thing is, the police, they're already quite underfunded for the past few years. So obviously, with them being underfunded and having the extra toll and extra work, it might be an extra burden, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get you.
Because at the end of the day, I feel like the police should be dealing with more. Obviously, this is a serious stuff as well, but because the police always deals with missing people anyway. That's what they do essentially. But with missing people, have you seen those billboards that says text this and text that? Yeah. Most of them, they're all quite old, you see. But like I said, I'm not too sure with this one, to be fair. It's a little bit weird because I don't know who's going to be. It's going to be police that's mainly responsible for it. But yeah, at the end of the day, I feel like there should be more awareness of it.
So what do you think? You raised good points there, Jacky. What do you think, so?
I mean, I agree with both. I mean, first, I want to just say that my heart goes out to the families and the friends that I have to. My condolence goes out to them, obviously for Richard, because it is terrible, and again, like it happens all around the world, but not a lot is said about it. But I mean, I think there should be more awareness. But like Jacky said, it'd be complicated to assign a certain group on who should look out for that. But ultimately, there should be more, because a lot of people go missing every single day. I mean, it doesn't matter if there's a pandemic or not, it still happens. I mean, I think last year around 68,944 missing children were missing. I think that's in the UK. Apparently there's more males and females that were reported missing. That's about 56% male, 44% female. And then twice as many transgender individuals were reported missing as well, compared to the year before. And then, I mean, it is terrible. I mean, you have, the news, which is again, total big media platform, but instead of, I mean, I've seen this quite a lot, especially with Good Morning Britain, etc., BBC News, whatever it is. They always seem to talk about all these things that don't really matter too much in the long run. Instead, they talk about, instead of, missing persons, they talk about, oh, it's a Scotch egg, and at a good for a good meal. Like
Yeah.
there are people who are missing and there are people who are dying. I mean, I understand
Yeah, but the thing about Good Morning Britain, it's more of a, what do you call it? It's more of a, something that you watch in the morning that will want to brighten your day.
Which is true.
That's the whole point.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You know,
you don't want to watch something so depressing in the morning.
No,
Why did you have your
which
cup
is
of
true.
dog?
Which is true. However, if you're talking about a Scotch egg over a missing person, is that really?
yeah.
At the end of the day, I get it's supposed to be entertainment, which is fine. However, in the morning, yes, okay, we don't want to see depression all the time. However, they've talked about serious stuff before, but they seem to, especially with probably like later last year,
But
they keep on talking about COVID, which is fair, but there are other stuff as well.
But does this raise the question though? How often would you actually post it on Good Morning Britain? Like,
Yeah.
if one person,
Which is
because like you said, 68,000 people go missing, man.
Which is true, yeah.
So every time someone goes missing, would Good Morning
Yeah.
Britain
all
say,
the time. No, I get that.
yeah.
But I would say to all right.
So
If
who do you
that's the
think is
case, if that was the
important?
case, because
Who's
there
important?
are other factors to try and prevent this. No, it won't stop it, but prevent it from happening. You could at least because it might happen from within the home. It might signs that from
Yeah.
children that or from other family members, whether young or old, they could show signs that they might be bullied or they might be meeting someone who's a stranger, etc., etc. So at least where's that awareness? So then put that on that platform. Say okay, look out for the depression, bad signs of depression, or if they spend too much time in the room. That could be anybody, not just kids. It could be anything. All these factors, and there's more as well, to try and prevent it from happening. So then people at least are more aware to try and prevent it from happening. I'm not saying every single day,
Yeah.
but at least step up and use your platform for something better.
Every
than
now and then,
Scotch.
basically.
Yeah.
Rather than
But I get what I mean, but who do you think is more important? Because when you find a missing person on that big platform, obviously there's a lot of people missing every day, like I said before, like you said as well. It's who do you deem as important to be put on that big of a platform?
Well, that's what they're
because
doing
there's that
now,
many
though.
people.
But that's what they're doing now. Even with Richard, with
How does it
Sarah,
work?
Everard, it's a bit odd. That's what I'm saying. I'm a bit confused with that. I don't know how they always seem to pick one person that seems to be important.
What's the
And-
practicality?
Because
behind
I
it?
think why they've stepped up because of Sarah Everard's death. I think that was the catalyst for police. We should do more because I can say it's been a bit slack. And what you said, Sol, I get what you said about talk about the more serious stuff, but then you've got people saying, oh, we don't want to hear about the serious stuff. 100,000 people plus have died of COVID. So I get what you're saying about that, but sometimes you do need a little bit of a light-hearted talk because we've all been went through lockdown. I do get you. But if you don't know about the situation, police have taken 3 weeks to look for his body. Harry, what do you think they should have increased their staff to look for him more? Because 3 weeks, he disappeared on the 22nd of March.
He's 19 years old. Why are they not searching for him? There's no one to talk about. It could have been suicide or something, mental health related stuff. I've seen a video of him going out. Why is he by himself in the street at night?
That's what we don't really know.
I don't understand it. We don't really know that much yet, do we? We don't know what the answer is yet. They're still seeking it. I do think it could have been. I mean, it could have been a third party, others getting involved.
Well, actually, I'm going to read that. But I'm glad you said third party because this is from Sky News. The death is being treated as unexpected, and police do not believe at this state that there was any third party involvement.
We don't know yet, do they? We've not researched it enough. It could have been. It literally could have had people killed him or something, or taken a
how they handled it.
kidnapped him.
I mean, I don't know if you've probably read where his mother said something about she went to the police and reported him being missing, and then the police said if you can't find him, then how do you expect the police to find him? So it's
that's disgusting.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I get what you're talking about, Harry.
That's very unprofessional behaviour because at the end of the day, the police, they're what do you call it? I forgot what word was. Basically, you look up to them essentially.
Or aspire or something like that.
I guess
along that line.
Yeah, but basically, they're something that they're a person that you look up to as someone that's reliable.
A role model,
Yeah. Because I bet everyone when they were younger, before this generation, because everyone when they were younger, they at some point wanted to look into the public services like a job. So it's a little bit disappointing to hear something like that would happen.
Well, you know what? If you're at home, worried about about this, this should set your Find My location so families and friends can find you at that specific time. And if you need any more information about this missingpeople.org.uk have a lot of info for that. Nice to see you again. Still to come on today's show, all of our panelists, including me, will be playing a game of Loose Mandem does yes or no. So hopefully, we'll see, how the game goes. But first, Minister of State Universities David Lammy appeared on his radio show on LBC, which is one of Britain's biggest live debate radio shows, where he responded to a caller who questioned him how he could be African Caribbean as well as English. The caller stated he will never be English but is British. So the question is, do you believe that your ethnicity and national identity denies the fact of your nationality? So what do you think about that?
I mean, it is a bit odd. I mean, it's a bit odd how she just called in to say that, because of your heritage, because you're African Caribbean, you're not English. And it's like, well, you could be white Caribbean and, you could be British or you could be English. I mean, it's typically, for instance, Harry Gregory, aka White Yardie, he's from the Caribbean, he's a white Caribbean, but since he moved here, he's become a British citizen.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a bit odd, and how, I think she's right. She said it in quite a rancorous way, which is fair, but she at the end of the day, I think she's just being a bit naive. And she was,
and she did David said, sorry to cut you off, but David did say that, she sounded a bit senior.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how old is she?
Yeah, she's a bit older than you think, but yeah. So I mean, it is a case where she just has to learn, because she said something about how let's say if she said something about she was white, if she went to the Caribbean, she couldn't be she couldn't call herself white. But the fact is, if you were to go to Jamaica, there's lots of
exactly. That's what you know about where we come from. So not many people like you two, you probably don't know. Like, all right, Jacky, what you're Japanese or Chinese?
Oh, you mean what my parents are from?
What's your ethnicity?
Oh, Chinese, yeah.
Right. We've got in Jamaica. We've got like Chinese but Jamaicans. So what look like you but speak Jamaican.
Oh,
which you don't know about.
Asian heritage, basically.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But they've been there for like David said, they've been there for centuries and even more Jamaican than him. And like you, Harry, there's like there's a lot of white Jamaicans out there, which you think, why you here? I thought, this is Jamaica. This is like a predominantly black country. You got me, Jacky. What do you think about that?
Well, I don't know. The thing is, I had to do some research to be fair, because I always thought of nationality as where you were born. Is that right? So, what you identify with, basically, what with your values. So, obviously, I'm from the UK. So, the thing is, when I talk to people and they ask me where I'm from, I just go Ludes. You know what I'm saying? Ludes. And they're like, no, where you actually from?
Yeah, where you actually.
And I'm like, Ludes. West Yorkshire. But obviously, I'm just joking with it. I know what they mean, but and then I used to correct them. Like, in my ethnicity, I'm like, yeah, that. I go Chinese. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And like I said, at the end of the day, I think people, they're all pretty chill. So it's not like anything bad that they want from you. It's just more or less just having a bit of fun. That's all. Asking where you're from and stuff. But in terms of the UK, obviously the UK is a secular. How do you say that word? Secularized. I think that's a word. Secularized country, meaning that there's no really main religion.
Yeah,
it's not really a religious country. You do what you want, basically, as long as you don't break the laws, man. You do what you want. You do you. Everyone's pretty chill with each other. So, I feel like you can still identify yourself as a British citizen and English, but the thing about what David Lammy?
David Lammy.
Yeah, what David Lammy said. I feel like where she was coming from was like her idea was that to be English you have to be white.
Yes.
But the thing about UK is that it's an island. Like people have been throughout the century they come, they conquer. The Romans, who else? Anglo-Saxons, people.
Vikings.
Vikings, Scandinavians, they're Vikings, aren't they? Yeah, they come and go, and then it's just one of those things, really. So England's a pretty unique country, to be fair. Well, UK in general. Yeah, history-wise, very interesting.
Harry, what's your take on it?
Well, I think it's just a stupid thing. If you've got all the legal requirements to live here, you're fine. As long as you're not doing anything wrong to it, it's fine. Like you can look at footballers, look at all sportsmen changing their nationalities. They represent England in different ways. Look at Sterling, he's Jamaican, but he represents England.
And the way
I'm
they
not
talk,
fussed by that.
and also whenever they talk with like a real British accent.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? What's her
the
name called again? That singer. Is it Dua Lipa?
Oh
man, she has her accent is very British, man.
So British.
Now the thing, I don't really have an accent. She says she doesn't really have an accent, but when you hear it, damn, that is so British, man.
Even with the Emma Watson, though, think about it though. Like she has such a posh English accent. Like,
yeah.
She was on. I think she was on like Jimmy Kimmel, or Jimmy Fallon, one of them.
Yeah.
And she was. And the American audience, obviously, they were like. And they were laughing at her voice because it sounded so British.
Typical British people.
They think we all sound like that.
Because like
Good morning, mate.
Because
that's
what
really
I said
bad.
to you before, so I said that if I was to do an advert and not show my face, they would think, he's British, why ain't it? But you just don't know that. You get what I mean? If you know, go on. What do you say?
I think it all comes to accents a bit. Does anyone watch Trevor Noah?
Not really, but I've
Daily Show. Yeah, I've recently just watched his shows and stuff. He's real funny. But basically, he says that when you speak, if I remember this correctly, when you speak a person in their language or in your language, they use the rule. They use their own rules essentially. So it's not a measure. So it's not a measure of intelligence.
Right.
Because when you speak to someone with a different accent, you perceive them differently. I mean, everyone does that. Like when they speak like a more, for example, a more posher tone, you'd expect them to be more wealthy and more affluent, but they might just be from a better, a better area, or they might even be the same area near you. But like I said, it's just a lot of not stigmatization. How do you say it? That word. Yes, I won't say it again. But yeah, I feel like it's just. What Trevor Noah said. It's just it's not a measure of intelligence in terms of accents. It's just. It's just their rules of speaking your language.
It's like stereotyping.
Yeah, stereotyping. That's the one.
Well, going back to David Lammy, he stated that he had Scots in him, and if you don't know about who David Lammy is, he was born on the 19th of July, 1972 in Whittington Health, Hospital in London. He's raised by a single mother from Jamaica. Like he said, I think she was saying that how. I think she was on about trying to say if your mum's from Jamaica, you can't say English. I get what she was saying about that, but David was born here, so he's black British like us.
But bear in mind, right, the UK, 1800, they colonised the entire world, man, pretty much, so, you know.
Exactly. And another, info about David Lammy. He studied a Masters in Law at Harvard Law School, City of University of London, and the King Cathedral School in London. So he's very intelligent. He's been to school here. He's British. He's English and British as well. You get what I mean? Right. I think we should move on now. Right, now moving on to something light-hearted. It is time to play Loose Mandem Does Yes or No. In this game, it's quite simple. One of our panellists will be the player, and the other panellists, including me, will just have to ask the player any kind of questions we like, but the player must avoid saying yes or no. If they are successful on each question, they get 1 point. If not, they will be straight out. Yeah, they'll be out straight away. The player has 1 minute and 50 seconds to answer as many questions as possible in the time, but must answer within 5 seconds. So, guys, are you ready?
Yes.
Right.
Let's go, man. Let's go.
Right, Salman, going first. Okay. Are you ready, Sal? You got
Maybe.
1 minute 50 seconds on the clock.
Yes or no?
Okie dokie.
You got 5 seconds to answer.
5 seconds.
Right. I'll go first. Is your name Solomon Gordon?
C.
Alright.
What does EYES spell? What does EYES spell?
I don't know.
Jacky?
Is there a drink is there water inside?
Maybe.
I'm not good at this. Do you love your mother?
Perhaps.
Okay. If
like
you watch
that?
this, you'll remember that.
You like your father?
He's alright. I'm joking.
Harry?
God, I can't even think of
I love
it.
my father. I love my parents.
Quick.
Are you here to promote your acting career?
Possibly.
Really?
Perhaps, yeah.
Were you just nodding your head? Were you just nodding your head? Were you
Did
nodding
you just
your
say hum then? Are you allowed, is he allowed to do that?
No, give him. Right, Jacky.
Is that
go.
allowed?
30 seconds. Ask him a question. Any.
Your shoelace and I don't know.
Quick, because Solomon's winning at the moment.
Oh, wow.
Right, Jacky's taking too long. Harry, ask him a question.
Sorry, it's taking too long.
Is my bottle grey?
9.
9. What does 9 mean?
No,
What does 9 mean?
Yeah, what does 9 mean?
What does it mean in English?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, well, Solomon, very good. Right, Jackie's turn. So obviously, we are going to ask you a question and you just need to avoid saying yes or no. You got 1 minute, 30 seconds on the clock.
Cool.
Okay.
Time starts now.
What
I'll go right, you go first.
Okay. I wearing glasses.
1,
Maybe.
2, right. Harry?
Is that yours?
Maybe. I'm allowed to use the same word twice, or
I
perhaps.
think 2's the limits.
Perhaps.
Right, 2, yeah, you can't
Perhaps.
say right.
2's the
Perhaps.
Okay, are you sure, are you sure you go to that college in Leeds?
Probably.
What
Why,
does
why probably?
Can I ask a question? If I say IDK, right? I'm not saying the word, am I? I'm just using
No,
abbreviation.
you can see that.
Alright,
Okay, it's
Solomon,
not-
go on.
Yeah.
Alright, are you a human being?
1,
Come see,
2,
come saw.
Come see, come sir. So you're not you're not sure you're a human being?
1.
Might be alien. I don't know.
Alien.
Alien. Why are you here if you're alien?
I like to see you trying to catch me out. I'm not falling for it.
Okay.
Yeah. Go on,
Harry,
go on, go
Harry,
on.
ask him a question.
Quick fire, baby.
What does YES spell?
Why, yeah.
You just said it.
No, I have to say the word, like.
Go on.
But I feel like
I
it
need an answer.
says
Can you give me the answer, please?
my name. It says my
Right,
name.
you take too long, you're out. Harry's turn. Right, you got 1 minute 50 seconds on the clock. Your time starts now.
How do you spell YES?
What's in what can I ask you?
Terraria.
Terraria. Okay.
Are you sure you go to college in Leeds?
I don't think so.
Why don't you think
I
so?
go to university.
Which university?
I go to Scunthorpe.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my god.
What are you doing here then?
Do you want to be
for
here?
Fun, for fun.
Do you want to be here?
Definitely.
Do you love your mum?
You can hold that in a
Are you sure?
stable answer.
Are you sure?
Definitely.
Do you love your dad?
From time to time.
Do you have a pet?
Why from time to time?
Yeah, he died.
Oh.
Why from time to time?
Yeah.
Because I don't see her every day.
Okay. Where do you work? What industry?
It's supposed to be
do you
yes or
work in?
no. Yes or no.
What no? What industry do you work in? What industry?
College.
Are you sure?
I think so.
Why do you think so?
Because I go to Leeds City College.
I thought you went to university.
Changed my mind.
Are you sure?
Definitely.
Why differently?
Because my mind changes.
University and college are two different things.
My mind changes every week.
Why does your mind change every week?
Because I've got a weird mind.
Why have you got a weird mind?
Because of the problems I had.
Are you alive?
I think so.
You think so?
Well, I'm made up of different living cells, so I think my heart's beating.
Are you sure it's beating?
See?
See.
See?
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
Quidders?
Well done to Solomon, who won that. You know, well done, Sol.
Yeah,
Obviously, Jacky, you just took too long to answer the question. I'll find a question and Harry. Oh yeah, both of you join first.
Oh,
That's
nice.
good.
Oh no,
Third
but he said
place,
C.
baby.
He said C, so that means yeah.
No,
that's
that
Spanish.
you can say other languages. It's you
Okay.
can't say yes or no.
Okay, I'm giving you. Well, that is it for today's show, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as we did. I want to thank Sol, Jacky, and Harry for joining me and sharing their views bravely today. Do not forget to like, share, comment, follow us, subscribe, set alerts on for any of our posts we post on our social media, which are on your screen right now. Finally, remember to tell all the mandem and galdem about Loose Mandem. We will see you on Friday. Take care, bye.